A 10-pound parasite was draining this turtle's life. What surgeons found inside during the record-breaking procedure changed marine science history forever. When charter fishermen cast their lines into the crystal-clear waters off the Florida Keys that August morning, they expected to catch fish. What they pulled up instead would change everything. Tangled in commercial fishing line was a loggerhead sea turtle. But this wasn't any rescue situation. Protruding grotesquely from the left side of the turtle's neck was something that made even the seasoned fishermen gasp in horror. A bulbous, angry-looking mass that seemed impossibly large for the animal to be carrying. It hung from her neck like a terrible burden, distorting her natural shape and clearly causing her immense suffering. The fishermen knew immediately that without help, this magnificent creature wouldn't survive another day. They carefully freed her from the fishing lines and rushed her to the only place that could possibly save her life, the Turtle Hospital in the Florida Keys. When the staff at the Turtle Hospital first laid eyes on the turtle, whom they would soon name Molly, they were stunned. In all their years of treating injured and sick sea turtles, they had never seen anything quite like this. The tumor was massive, weighing down one entire side of Molly's body. But the real shock came when they began running tests. Molly was dying. The tests revealed something terrifying. She was extremely anemic. Her body was being drained by this parasitic growth. She had multiple tumors, but that 10.1-pound tumor is what was really threatening her life, explained Bette Zirkebach, manager of the Turtle Hospital. Multiple tumor. The singular horrifying mass they could see was just the beginning. The veterinary team faced an impossible decision. Molly was estimated to be between 25 and 30 years old, a turtle who had survived decades in the wild, navigating predators, storms, and countless ocean danger. And now, after all those years of survival, she was being killed by her own body. Could they save her? The tumor was enormous, larger than any they had attempted to remove from a sea turtle before. The surgery was incredibly risky. Molly was already weak from severe anemia, but doing nothing meant certain death. On August 12th, just 3 days after her rescue, Dr. Terry Norton prepared for the most challenging surgery of his career. As Molly was carefully anesthetized, the surgical team assembled their instruments. They had no blueprint for this. No textbook could guide them through removing a 10-pound tumor from a sea turtle. The surgery began. 1 hour passed, then 2. The team worked with painstaking precision, carefully separating the massive tumor from Molly's vital blood vessels and tissue. One wrong cut could be fatal. The tumor had been growing for years, integrating itself into Molly's body. Every millimeter mattered. 3 hours into the operation, Dr. Norton made the final cut. The tumor was free. The monstrous 10.1-pound mass that had been slowly killing Molly was finally removed. The surgical team stood in awe. They had removed the largest tumor ever successfully excised from a sea turtle, but the question remained, would Molly survive? The hours after surgery were critical. Molly lay still in her recovery tank as the staff kept constant watch. And then, slowly, miraculously, Molly began to wake. Her flippers moved. Her eyes opened. Against all odds, she had survived. But Molly's journey was far from over. Those other smaller tumors detected during examination remained. She would need a second surgery, but first she needed to get stronger. The staff created a special recovery plan. A feast of mackerel, squid, and lobster. Day after day, Molly ate, rebuilding her strength and her will to live. Over the following weeks, something beautiful happened. Molly began to transform. The gaping wound where the tumor had been started to heal. Her energy returned. She swam more actively in her rehabilitation tank. This turtle, who had been at death's door, was coming back to life. On September 24th, over a month after her first operation, Molly underwent her second surgery. Dr. Norton and his team removed the remaining smaller tumor. The surgery was another success. Now, finally, Molly was tumor-free. For 2 more months, Molly healed at the Turtle Hospital. The staff who cared for her had fallen deeply in love with this incredible survivor. They had witnessed her journey from the brink of death to vibrant health. Molly had become more than just a patient. She had become a symbol of hope. Then came November 25th. Molly was ready to go home. As dawn broke over Higgs Beach in the Florida Keys, hundreds of people gathered on the sand. Word of Molly's incredible journey had spread, and people came from all over to witness her return to the ocean. Children held handmade signs. Adults wiped tears from their eyes. Everyone wanted to see the miracle turtle who had defied death twice. Before her release, the staff attached a satellite tracking device to Molly's shell, provided by the Sea Turtle Conservancy. This tracker would allow her doctor and the world to follow Molly's journey for up to 2 years. The crowd fell silent as Molly was placed on the wet sand. For a moment, she was still. Then something ancient and instinctual stirred within her. This was home. Molly began to move, her flippers pushing against the sand as she propelled herself toward the surf. The crowd erupted in cheers, but Molly was focused on only one thing: the endless blue horizon before her. She reached the water's edge, and a wave washed over her shell. Then another. And then, in one smooth, powerful motion, Molly disappeared beneath the surface. She was free. Within days, people around the world were logging on to follow her progress. The satellite data showed Molly heading north along the Gulf Coast of Florida, swimming strongly, living the life she had almost lost. Standing on that beach, watching the massive crowd celebrate, Beth Zirkelbach was asked what this overwhelming response meant to her. Her answer was profound. It gives me hope. It gives me hope for our sea turtles. It gives me hope for our ocean. Because Molly's story isn't just about one turtle surviving impossible odds. It's about what happens when people refuse to give up, when fishermen take the time to rescue, when veterinarians push medical boundary, when hundreds of strangers gather at dawn to celebrate the life of a single sea turtle. Today, Molly is out there swimming through the Gulf of Mexico. Her satellite tracker continues to ping, a digital heartbeat reminding us that miracles do happen. The largest tumor ever removed from a sea turtle didn't end her story. It became a chapter in an even greater tale of survival and hope. And somewhere beneath those turquoise waves, off the Florida coast, a loggerhead turtle named Molly swims on, carrying with her the hopes of everyone who believed she deserved a second chance at life.